Okay, everything seems to be working in order. Welcome everyone. My name is Yvette, also known as Sumi Yellow, and I welcome you to another live stream. And as you can see, I am once again joined by the wonderful Wolf Nanaki.
Hello, hi. It's good to see you all again.
I hope you're ready, because today we are potentially gonna get the exciting conclusion of this game.
Yes. Yeah, my friend was telling me Chapter 3 is very short compared to the other two, but seeing as it took about 2 streams to finish each of them, maybe the definition of short is a bit stretched here.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but I am indeed excited for what this game has to offer. It's been quite the wild ride until this point, and the finale was pretty action-packed, all things considered.
Well, the finale of the last chapter, maybe.
Yeah, that part was, we lost to Random McGill.
Yes. Random died, and the other guy died, and the chief turned out to be a snatcher.
Mm-hmm. But we dealt with them. Oh, where are my glasses? They're right here.
She had to take them off for a minute.
I can take them off from time to time. I was just exercising before the stream, so I had to take them off.
Yeah, don't want to get all the sweat on the glasses.
Exactly. So yeah, just after plenty of stretches, an hour of working out, and an extra hour of yoga, I'm here ready for the stream.
Alright, so however now you can imagine Yvette doing a whole bunch of yoga and sweating and stretching.
You can. It is something you can do.
Clothes.
Yeah, you can. But yeah, I can remove my glasses when I want to. As a treat. Oh. Yeah, why not? You can do that. When I work out, I do decide to tie my hair. It's much more comfortable, so it doesn't get in the way when exercising.
Yeah, don't want to get your hair flaps fluffing in your face.
Exactly. It's not really a haircut, it's just me tying it back. Which is much more comfortable, especially with the hot weathers that we've been getting lately. How's the weather in, where you are, Nanaki?
Yeah, it's pretty hot here. Actually, hurricane season is right around the corner.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Actually, no wait, we are in hurricane season.
Yeah, I've been hearing plenty of alarms, honestly, which are a little bit unnerving.
Yeah, something is brewing in the Atlantic, and they're getting kind of nervous.
Yeah, we should all stay safe. But anyway, without further ado, who's ready to continue our investigation? Because I sure am. Let's, without further ado, Girly, would you like to give us a recap of what happened?
Okay, so last time we finally went to the secret Snatcher hospital. It looked abandoned at first, but then we and Random decided to dig a little deeper and found that there was a secret hospital built underneath the hospital we were standing in. And it was full of Snatchers, including one of the people working for the Mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
And they have this big plan to go to the Kyoto Summit in Japan and begin the Snatcher takeover of the world, using the Snatcher that replaced the Chief. And Random sacrificed himself so that we could escape. But now that we knew that the Chief was a Snatcher, we had to go back to headquarters and capture him. But it was a gruesome sight of what happened at the headquarters. So much blood! Oh my god.
Yeah, there was a lot of blood in the last episode. Because we discovered the fresh Snatcher victims.
Yes. It's also rotting corpses too.
It was pretty unnerving, but we managed to handle it. And now we approach the final battle.
Oh yeah, we had to kill the Snatcher Chief.
Mm-hmm. But it's not over yet. So now, we continue. Mm-hmm. Yes, it is Metal Gear. You can override. I hope everyone in chat is doing well, by the way. There we go. Okay. So,
with the start of this
Act
year's
3.
Kyoto Summit just 3 hours away, the delegates from the participating countries are beginning to arrive at the conference center.
Oh, new song.
A major poll of domestic and international opinion, carried out just last week, shows that the vast majority of respondents favor a complete quarantine of Neo Kobe as a means to combat the risk of the Snatcher menace.
Now that the Chief's death has been confirmed, it won't be long before they strip us of our Junker authorization.
They will be deciding how to handle Neo Kobe at the summit in just 3 hours.
There are rumors that they're going to use nukes on the city to make sure the Snatchers are wiped out.
That's ridiculous. Come on, this is the 21st century.
That may not be as improbable as it seems. The world's leaders are extremely concerned about the Snatcher problem.
Lord
The
Dumps.
Chief was going to calm this hysteria in his speech at the summit, but that'll never happen now.
3 months ago, government pressure on Junker operations increased dramatically. Gillian's transfer here was really our last chance.
Our own chief was snatched. It's not too surprising they don't want to trust us anymore.
I've heard that the Army and FBI are going to take over operations now.
That's correct. That too will be officially decided in 3 hours' time.
3 hours, eh? Is there any way we can find their hideout in that time?
If we don't, we and everybody else in this city are finished.
As far as they're concerned, we're just like a cancerous tumor that has to be cut out.
We have to hit the Snatchers' headquarters before then.
Gillian, can you do it?
If we only knew where it was, I should be able to manage something.
Hitting their outposts like Queen's Hospital won't do any good. We have to find their main nerve center.
What about the memory of that snatcher who was impersonating the chief?
Just like the others, it was completely blanked. It's a form of self-destruct mechanism that they use.
Wait a minute. Mental. What about tracing that video phone call from Jamie?
It was no good. The call didn't last long enough. Still, it definitely did come from within.
Oh yeah, we
the
need to
city.
save Jamie.
Damn. Where are they hiding?
Gillian, can't you remember anything at all? Didn't Jamie say something that implied you were somehow connected to the Snatchers?
Nothing. I can't remember a damn thing. Metal, I want you to tell me everything you know about me. Why was I sent to Junker headquarters? Where did I come from?
Gillian.
Metal, the chief's dead. Tell me everything you know about me.
Well, you see...
Metal!
All right. With the chief gone, you are the highest-ranking officer here.
You knew all along?
Of course.
Where were we rescued from?
3 years ago, you and Jamie were taken into protective custody in the Siberian Neutral Zone by the 17th Siberian Investigative Force. More precisely, you were discovered in cryogenic sleep pods in an underground bunker near Moscow.
Cryogenic sleep pods? You mean they were frozen?
This is a photograph of the bunker. There is no record of when you were placed there. In addition, the third pod was empty at the time you were discovered.
There were 3 pods?
You were revived and taken into custody by the army. Apparently, as a result of the extended sleep, both of you suffered from complete amnesia.
That's how the game started, I
Another
remember.
theory suggests your memories may have been intentionally erased. This is the only piece of evidence found at the site.
That's Harry's picture, from when he was a kid.
What?
Huh.
That's correct. Harry is Gillian and Jamie's son. It's been confirmed
Huh?
by DNA tests.
Harry?
What?
What?
Harry was my son?
Using the information
So,
gained from the photo,
okay.
it was established that you are Gillian Seed and your wife, Jamie Lorraine. Both of you are American citizens, born in the late 1960s.
The 1960s?
In addition, both of you vanished without a trace in 1989. There is no other information available about you after that.
1989?
Yes, you come from a world that's been gone for 50 years.
But what does that have to do with the Snatchers?
When the 17th Special Investigative Force was bringing the two of you out, there was an accident. Though the two of you were all right, most of the 17th was killed. One of them
So we were
was a Snatcher.
holding our
Of course,
son's
before their
corpse
departure,
last
they
week.
all underwent thorough examinations. So, if one of them was snatched,
It had to be somewhere in Siberia,
Did
right?
Harry knew about
that's
this?
correct. And in order to attempt to determine the origin of the
I don't think
Snatcher,
so.
as well as your true identities, you were assigned to Junker headquarters. The hope was that exposure to the Snatchers would help you regain your memories.
Moscow? 50 years ago?
Almost everyone who was in Moscow at the time was killed in the catastrophe.
So Gillian and Jamie are the only living witnesses?
Harry. Harry was my son. Did he know?
No, it was highly classified information. He was never told.
I was never able to do anything for him.
Wait a minute, Gillian. Didn't Jamie say something about taking a boy hostage?
That's right. They must know about Harry and are using him to threaten her.
We have to find their headquarters quickly.
We've only got 3 hours.
Gillian, let's think this all through again. We may get some kind of a hint out of it.
You're right. There may be some clue in the way they're operating.
All right, let's go over what we know about them.
Wow, that was
Wow.
a big dump.
It was. Hold on,
Oh my
let's
God.
catch up on chat real quick. Kojima, like violently shaking, trying not to link everything to everything else, like a fucking addict. Then getting to this point and snorting all of the Kojima cane. Oh, goodness.
Oh my god.
It's probably
Thank you,
probably
Ren.
not inaccurate. It's Thank you for the worry, Team Ren. Much appreciated.
Yeah, like all this happening at once, like you could have sprinkled a little bit of it throughout the game.
Just hinted, like I think we had like 1 or 2 conversations with Harry, and none of them involved his family. You know.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah. No,
Alright.
no foreshadowing or anything at all, really. It's,
Yeah, everything just kind of happened all at once just now.
yeah. Remember, this portion of the game was added like a couple of years later or something. The first few versions just ended right after Act 2. Huh.
Really?
That would have been a very unsatisfying ending. Did they involve empanadas? Well, if they were hungry, maybe. But anyway.
Okay. Back to the reading.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, shoot, sorry. Basically,
okay.
Metal is asking us if we want to know anything. Okay. Infrared rays. This is the Snatcher's weak point.
Are you sure? Think very carefully. I know which one it is.
This is the Snatcher's weak point?
That's correct. Their weak point is their defective artificial skin.
Mm-hmm.
Long-term exposure to ultraviolet rays causes mutations in the melanocytes in the sperm bacilla of their skin, which become cancerous. Specifically, long ultraviolet rays in the 250 to 350 nanometer range is responsible for causing the cancer.
That's right. And that's the reason that they are so limited as to when they can be out. They only come out at night in the middle of the winter and wear sunscreen even then.
That's the method that Gene used to figure out what the Snatchers were up to. How ironic. It turns out the destruction of the ozone layer actually had a benefit for us humans.
Also, welcome to the stream, Fight Code. It is a delight to see you.
Oh, hey, Fabgo, welcome. Good to see you.
New design is actually just my hair pulled back. And me without my jacket. I mean, I guess it counts as a new different outfit, but it's still me.
That's right. Now, what method were they using to move and to be able to avoid ultraviolet rays and sunlight at the same time?
The underpass. This is the method of movement that the Snatchers were using.
That's right. They were using the abandoned tunnels of the old tube liner system to get from place to place.
Which, if we knew there was a sewer, we would have investigated that immediately.
That's how they were able to move around without being noticed.
Nielsen's apartment, the old factory, Queen's Hospital, all of their hideouts were connected to the tube liner.
So maybe there is a tunnel under the main base as well?
There's a good chance of that.
Next, what phenomenon was always observed at any location where Snatchers appeared, including the underground tunnels?
The sneezing, huh? Yeah, sneezing. This is the phenomenon you're talking about, right?
That's right. And what was the cause of the sneezing?
No 9. This is the reason for the sneezing.
You're correct. The sneezing was caused by the presence of the allergen Snow 9.
Oh, Derpy, I see you there. I hope you're doing wonderful, just like you are. Can't stay for long, but I wanted to pop in and say hi. Your presence is always welcome.
Snow 9 is an artificial form of pollen developed by the military, and its presence is limited to certain regions.
They were
They were using...
Oh, no worries. I do the same thing all the time, girlie. Don't you worry. They were using it to interfere with radio transmissions and keep people away. They probably were producing it intentionally themselves.
The only regions of the city where Snow 9 is still present are areas around the Ina River. It has been cleared out of other areas because of the danger it presents. So that means that their base must be somewhere near the Ina River, right? This is a fair conclusion. They are probably somewhere near the Ina River, protected by the Snow 9.
Accessible to the tube liner and near the Ina River.
And we must not forget the 3 photographs that we found the Snatchers with. All of them were related...
Sorry.
It's alright. The map on the wall of Nielsen's apartment. This picture of the temple and the director's office at Queen's Hospital. The photo of Red Square hidden in the chief's office. Why do the Snatchers keep these pictures and memorabilia like this? Maybe they're homesick? Maybe that's where they come from.
Homesick? Get serious, Mika. They're robots, you know.
Let's analyze this a little closer. What city is related to all 3 of these pictures?
Well, it's always a treat seeing one of my 3 favorite panda siblings. Much appreciated.
All the pandas are wonderful.
They do say it takes one to know one, and...
But I'm not a panda.
Well, you are still a treat.
And you are a snack.
You are a full meal.
You are a delicious part of a 3-course menu.
Are the other 2 my 2 sisters?
Yes.
You flatter me. You should look in the mirror if you think that way.
I'll hold out the mirror to you.
You know, I'll just let you have this one for now. But I will not go down without a fight.
You'll get there someday.
Well, Moscow...
Russia's not a city.
Yeah. Moscow it is. This is the city they have in common.
That's correct. It's Moscow.
Moscow must be where they come from. That must be the basis of their programming.
You might be right. Just as people have a hometown that is dear to them, their creators may put a hometown into their programming. They use very advanced artificial intelligence systems, so they likely have needed something like that to maintain their emotional balance.
Yeah, they were born out of nothing, but they needed to give them some kind of image as an emotional base. Oh, look at what their picture said.
Yo's the main course saying dessert, and Max is the. Oh my god. You know what? Accurate.
What? How
100% accurate.
How do you two feel about it? Is that accurate? Yeah. Uh-huh. Confirmed.
Confirmed. Oh, that's weird. Anyway. So Moscow's their creator and their home.
And the place that they found Jamie and I.
In other words, this homing instinct thing of theirs has led them to set up their headquarters in some place that reminds them of home, or their creator.
What part of this city is like Moscow?
Moscow's really cold, right? They get a lot of snow, don't they?
Snow?
No snow has been recorded in Neo-Kobe in several years.
Well, then that's not it.
Wait, what about that pollen? That crystal bioengineered stuff, Snow 9?
Now that you mention it, wasn't it snowing on Jamie's video phone call?
That's right. Their hideout has to be somewhere close to the Ina River.
The Ina River flows for miles around here, Gillian. We could never search it all in time.
Gillian, let's look at a map of the areas investigated so far. This is an enlarged view of the southwest portion of the city around the Ina River. This blue area is that in which Snow 9 is present. Now I'll superimpose a chart of the abandoned tube liner tunnels. From this we can establish those areas with Snow 9, which are accessible by subway tunnel.
Damn. Nice try, but it's still too large. We could never cover it in 3 hours.
Don't give up so fast, Gillian. What about that image of home thing we were talking about? Maybe there's some kind of geographic similarity. Maybe the same view can be seen or something.
I'll display a map of Moscow alongside.
What's this?
Look! The rivers are exactly the same shape!
This is the Moscow River over here.
It looks like we're on the right track, Metal. Show us the location that Jamie and I were picked up from.
All right, right here.
Metal, before the catastrophe, what was at this location?
The headquarters for the entire Soviet Union, the Kremlin.
The Kremlin? That Snatcher said something about taking Jamie to their Kremlin.
Metal, what spot in Neo-Kobe would match up with the location of Moscow's Kremlin?
Calculating. This is the spot. It's presently occupied by an old church. It's
How
rather
come
large,
every single
but
one of our
reports
adventures
indicate
finishes
it's
at
been
a
abandoned
church?
for nearly 20 years.
And it's right in the middle of the Snow 9 and subway area.
That's it! That's their headquarters! Their new Kremlin!
Gillian, let's go!
Wait, Gillian. I want to go with you.
Sorry, Mika.
Hey, I'm a junker too, you know.
I know, and you're a great one at that.
So take me with you then.
You head to the summit to warn the delegates. They haven't given up, you know.
The summit's in Kyoto. I'm not going to be the only one to run.
You've got to convince them not to use nukes on Neo-Kobe.
We found their hideout. There's no need now to sink the whole island.
Yes, but...
It's a tough job. Can you do it?
Okay, Gillian. I'll do what I can.
Thanks. Thank you, Mika.
Don't say it, okay?
Let's go, Gillian!
Gillian?
Yes? What's wrong?
How about dinner sometime?
Dinner?
Yeah,
Oh.
you know, dinner.
Mika.
Not interested. I thought it would be nice, you know, to kick back, relax. It's Christmas after all.
Christmas, huh? I'll be back by then.
Gillian, we have to hurry.
That's a promise, right? I heard you.
Yeah, okay. But I gotta go to church first.
I'll see you soon then.
Okay, Metal, let's go.
I just noticed that my hair tied back kind of looks like Gillian's.
What was any of that?
I have no clue. It's also I don't. If you chose the options to be a Krypton Mecha, this is completely unearned.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
you avoided all that, so
Yeah.
you're good.
So we're good, but it's still weird because Gillian is still technically with Jamie.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also, I just noticed that yeah, my hair tied back looks kind of like Gillian's. It's I don't know how
Uncanny.
to feel. I don't know how to feel about that.
You gotta wear the big brown trench coat.
This is the closest thing I have to that. My last trench coat was shut down.
Shot down? What do you mean?
Well, when you're a detective, you kind of get into all sorts of like dangerous situations, and let's just say my current coat has a bunch of bullet holes in it.
Oh.
I use it as a distraction.
Ugh, I'm glad you're still with us.
Don't worry, it's not my first time getting shot at. I am a professional, you know. But anyway,
Alright.
this is the last one.
Alright, now boarding the turbocycle.
Take it all in, Nanaki. This is probably our last turbo cycle ride.
True. We've boarded the turbocycle. Where would you like to go? Of course, I know the answer to that question.
Yes. This has been the finale. The location that we're going is obviously... Outer heaven, baby! We're gonna go check some space strippers!
No, we're not.
Fine.
Your sister wants to meet Isabella.
Yeah.
Look,
Sure.
if she wants to meet a beautiful red-haired woman, I'm right here.
This is true. Although would you even stream with Max at some point? Would you even like that?
I wouldn't mind giving it a try.
I think she would appreciate it. I hope your employer provided bullet damage insurance and paid leave. Yeah, I usually charge upfront for my services.
Input the map data on the Kremlin's locations. Lift off.
Also, much appreciated. Much appreciated for the hugs, Ren. Hugs to you as well.
Flight configuration. Now gaining altitude.
This is it.
Jamie, please be safe.
This is
Gillian,
it.
please keep in mind that we're working with a strict time limit.
A 50-year debt in 3 hours. Snow!
Snow 9, to be specific. We've entered the Snow 9 region. Please put on your breathing filter. Direct inhalation is dangerous.
All right.
Radio transmissions will also be impossible from this point on. Understood? Now descending. Conversion to hover configuration complete. Gillian, we've arrived.
Oh. We could go
Here we
back
go.
to Chunker HQ if you wanted to, but no. Why would you do that?
We've arrived at the church.
Wow! Now I know why they call it their Kremlin. Nanaki, don't you find it interesting that our previous adventure also had a final battle in a church?
Yeah, I wonder if that means anything.
Churches, I guess, are the best place to have final battles, apparently.
It's the final place where you're single when you get married.
True.
I don't know. There's gotta be something. Some kind of connection.
There has to be. Okay. We're gonna investigate the area real quick.
The building is about 50 years old, but appears very well maintained.
So, where's the entrance?
On the front side of the building. This is definitely Snow 9. A sensor scan reveals that a turboliner tunnel passes directly under this area.
Thought so. Well, that's no surprise. Looks like we've got the right place. Guess we'll go inside.
All right, now opening the door.
What's wrong? Won't open?
I've scanned it, and it's not locked. It is probably rusted into place.
Not surprising. After all, our friends always go in and out through the basement.
Let's push it together.
All right. 1, 2, 3!
That got it.
And here we are. What's this?
It would appear to be some kind of a chapel for the Snatchers.
Are you telling me those things pray? To whom?
No doubt to their creator. That portrait on the wall is probably a representation of him.
Okay.
Why does that guy look familiar? This person is no doubt the one the Snatchers worship as their creator.
This guy. Isn't that random? One moment.
One moment.
Oh, sorry.
Right, it's alright. One moment, I'll compare the picture with my data on random. With the facial bone structure of the individual in the portrait is nearly identical to that of random, positive identification is impossible as the picture is not a photograph.
What if he was on the third pod?
Much to think about.
That just looks too much like him to be a coincidence, or maybe a relative.
Yellow-haired Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Something is written on the painting. The creator, Modnar.
It's random backwards.
Oh my god.
It is. It's just random backwards.
This is a Kojima game.
It is. It's Tori Pass.
Oh my god.
So, this is Professor Modnar. I cannot take that name seriously. The one the Snatcher was talking about, eh?
It appears to be a portrait of that person. It's all very organized, almost inhumanly so. There is another room farther back.
I guess we'll continue back to see what's in there.
Now moving into the back room.
Carefully. That's a lot of Snatchers. It's Snatchers! Look at them all!
I'm not picking up any energy readings. They are all deactivated, in some kind of suspension mode.
So this is their warehouse, huh?
There must be a few hundred of them here. They continue all the way back.
Still, this doesn't look like a factory to me.
There seems to be a number of containers stacked up in the back of the room. There is some kind of label here. 23rd Siberian Investigative Force.
Siberian Investigative Force.
It would appear that these snatchers were brought to Neokobe from the Siberian Neutral Zone. It seems that the investigative forces have been responsible for shipping the snatchers.
In other words, the investigative forces had been snatched just like when they found us.
Is the whole world run by snatchers secretly?
Hopefully no.
Oh my god. These are endostructures which have yet to have the artificial skin installed. The bone sizing devices and skull slits are all still set to the smallest sizes.
So their victims haven't been chosen yet. They're all just waiting their turn. You started your sentence with the word spoiler, so I'm not gonna read the rest of it. Unless that's a joke.
Kiasu, I swear to God.
It's a joke? Okay.
Yeah, I figured. That would be extremely
we are first timers for this game, so I wouldn't put it past Kojima to do something like that.
That'd be a true Kojima moment.
With Kojima, you can never be too sure. You could tell me that this was all the plan of hyper-intelligent whales, and I would believe you.
None of these scratchers appear damaged. All they need is their energy packs. Gender units have yet to be installed, however. So you can have the genders customized.
Yeah. If only it was that easy.
I do not see any tools or equipment for maintaining anything in the area. This room would appear to be just a storage area.
I see.
I see. So the Siberian investigative forces bring the snatchers out of Siberia and into storage here.
I think you're right, Metal. And then the snatchers just wait here in storage to be reactivated and adjusted after the victims are selected.
A rather efficient system. I wonder where the actual snatching takes place.
The back part of this room may the back part of this room may hold the answer to that question. So let's continue back. Which it seems we are entering, as they say, mouth of the beast.
Are you ready, Gillian? Now heading for the room farther back.
Let's go, Metal. Let's go, Nanaki.
We got this.
Oh. The Snatcher's Ultron room. Huh. Nanaki gear? You mentioned there was a robot version of yourself.
That'd be neat.
As long as it doesn't try to replace you.
No robot could replace me.
This is true. Metal cannot replace how fluffy and comfortable you are.
Takes one fluffy to know one.
Fluff touch. That's a great name, Panda Kind, by the way.
The mechanism is operating.
Let's look at the cylinders.
Gillian, there are snatchers with their artificial skin already installed here.
Snatch process.
This is where they fuse the artificial skin onto the Snatcher's endostructure. First, they adjust the size of the still skinless Snatcher to the size of the individual who is to be snatched. The Snatcher's overall shape and size can be adjusted by expansion or contraction of sizing rods. Their sex is controlled by gender units, which are installed at this point. Then, the face is modified to match the intended victim by adjusting the size of the upper and lower jaw, cheekbones, temporal bones, and tooth alignment.
They inject the
Just
gender?
like Gibson said, that means there are limits to the size of the people that they can snatch.
That's right. The limits of the mechanism mean that they can't snatch children, the elderly, or people who are very tall or heavy. And this is where the artificial muscles attach.
Is it organic?
No, it appears to be coated with a type of plastic gel capable of mechanical response. Like human muscles, it creates mechanical energy through chemical reactions. And this is where the artificial skin is attached. In order to prevent the synthetic cells, developed using biotechnological protein design techniques, from rejecting the inorganic material below, they attach it gradually over a number of days.
And this is the stuff that gets cancer if they stay out in the sun too long.
Finally, they attach body and scalp hair. The process involves transplant of synthetic hair follicles as well, so the hair will grow back if it's lost.
What about scars or birthmarks?
It would appear that they make those adjustments at this point in the process, as they would for wrinkles to simulate age.
We learned a lot about how they're made in very specific detail. Okay.
Yeah. And interesting to note that they have, like, limitations on who they can't snatch based on how they're built.
Yeah.
Which means there are some people that are guaranteed to not be snatchers.
Like us, because we're too tall.
And too TD.
We are safe.
A computer terminal is installed on each preservation cylinder.
Plus, the thing with us is that we don't have, technically, exposed skin. We have fur.
Very true. But
There,
we do have bones.
this is true, but at least we haven't seen furry snatchers yet, anyway.
Would you become a snatcher if you could become a furry?
Would you?
Do the snatchers have individual free will?
I'm not sure. There's a lot we don't know about them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You don't get to keep your brain. Okay, never mind.
In that case, being a snatcher would be a very bad idea.
Yeah, you can't become a snatcher. A snatcher takes your place.
Okay.
There goes that idea.
Unfortunate, but true. Investigate the area.
This whole area is protected as a clean room. There is a door at the far end of the room.
A door, you say?
It's a small metal door with a doorknob attached. It's locked, but I should be able to open it from this side.
Okay.
These cylinders are used to culture Snatcher's artificial skin. Endostructures are submerged within them.
What about the terminal?
The power is on. Look at this, Gillian. The data of the people to be snatched is all being neatly processed.
So this is where the whole thing begins. The endostructures arrive here from the Kremlin. Then they convert them into copies of their victims. And finally, they head out into the city using the old subway system.
With artificial skin maintenance being handled at Queen's Hospital.
But who's behind all this?
Gillian, look at this. There are some finished snatchers over here.
Oh?
Get a...
Just in case I want to save. Because that was a lot.
All of this. The U.S. President, the Prime Ministers of Japan, and the UK.
You're in here too.
Oh?
Figures. They were looking to snatch every VIP at the summit.
And the last junker, you. It definitely looks like they plan on moving out beyond Neo Kobe.
If they were to snatch every major world leader, they'd practically be able to control the planet. Still, that's odd. With their flawed skin, pulling something off like that would really be difficult.
Chin said they had found the key to developing a perfect artificial skin. Maybe they've already produced it.
No idea. But the number of snatchers here makes it clear that they're up to something new.
Gillian, this is definitely their nest. We should destroy everything.
Not yet. Not until we found Jamie. Metal, how much time do we have left?
The summit should have begun by now. We don't have much time. And once our legal privileges are suspended, I won't be able to help. In fact, I'll be forced to restrain you.
I know. If the military wants to avoid nukes and goes for a surgical strike on this facility, what would they likely use?
Probably a phased particle beam from one of the attack satellites.
A phased particle beam, huh? That'll wipe this complex right off the map.
Everything, including the soil, will simply evaporate. The attack will leave just a large crater.
Oh.
Metal, can you convince them to give me another hour? Even 30 minutes will help.
Understood. I'll try my best.
And I'll try to find and rescue Jamie in that time.
I can't transmit here due to interference from the Snow 9. I'll have to leave the area and then send the message.
All right. Do it, Metal.
Gillian, don't forget. 30 minutes. You must get out before then.
I understand.
Gillian, I'm sorry I couldn't help you better.
Don't worry about it. I'll be able to move faster by myself anyway. 30 minutes should be plenty. Go, Metal!
Yes, sir. Don't forget, 30 minutes.
So if Metal is gone, no saving from this point forward. If you're playing on normal console. Not our case.
30 minutes? Oh, this is gonna be tight. That room's the only place left to check. Let's take a look.
Oh. Oh my god.
Get him!
Oh my god. It's good that we saved. Oh, goodness.
Oh.
These are crazy. Wow. Let's try that again.
Oh my.
These are even harder than the previous spider bots because they move.
Oh, this is gonna be tight.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That room's the only place left to check.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's take a look.
No, Fagog, she died.
Okay.
She's gonna have to try again.
Oh, what? Why did it... Okay. Come on. God. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this is rough. Oh, they just don't stop coming.
30 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, this is gonna be tight.
Jeez.
That room's the only
This is
place
gonna
left to
take
check.
30 minutes.
Let's take a look.
Okay. There's just not enough time. There's just not enough time.
They move way too fast.
Yeah. That is crazy.
30 minutes?
Oh my god.
Oh, this is gonna be tight.
My hand's starting
That
to
room's
hurt
the
a
only
little.
place left to check. Let's take a look.
Is there like a turbo function in this controller? Because my hand is actually starting to hurt there from tapping.
Oh no.
Oh no, not again. Ah! Marvelous! Marvelous!
I wasn't ready for that. They almost got me.
They sure did.
All right,
Sharpshooter.
let's open the next door. Doesn't look like there's anything here. Whoa!
Again? Oh my god. Oh my god, come on.
Oh, that was way
Jeez.
easier.
These guys are tough.
You would
Of course,
think
I
that would have
didn't
been
exactly
phase
expect them to
1.
welcome me with open arms. Okay, let's try this next door.
Okay. Oh, Jamie. Wait. Wait, no, that's just Jamie.
Yeah.
They trick you into thinking you have to
Jamie,
shoot.
are you
That's
alright?
dirty.
Gillian, you came for me.
That's dirty.
Are you hurt?
No, they won't lay a finger on me. Not until the new artificial skin is completed anyway.
Artificial skin research? You?
Gillian, I've got my memory back. All of it.
What happened? Tell me, Jamie.
They said they'd kill him. They said they'd kill Harry. They forced me. I had to help them with the skin development. They said I had to help them because the professor was ill. Wasn't getting any better. Gillian, the engineer Harry, he's our son. He's been living on his own now for 50 years.
Jamie, I'm afraid that Harry's...
There was nothing I could do. They forced me. But I can't do it anymore.
Jamie!
The professor, he just died. He was over 100.
The professor? What? This old man?
Don't you remember? It's Professor Modner. Professor Petrovich Modner.
What? This old man is Modner?
He's been confined here for 3 years now, just to develop the Snatcher's artificial skin. Terrible. Doing that to your own father.
Whose father? Jamie, I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
You really can't remember, can you?
Jamie, tell me who I am. What were we doing at the Kremlin?
Are you sure you really want me to, Gillian? It's all so awful. But if you must know, I'll tell you. Try to remain calm, okay? 56 years ago, you and I were involved in a top-secret Soviet project. It was still during the time of the Cold War. The gulf between East and West was as wide as ever. Everybody was worried about nukes. At that point, the world's armies were at their largest ever. Leaders still believed that a strong military meant a strong nation. There were rumors that there would be an agreement to end the production of nuclear weapons. On the other hand, the major powers like the US began to get involved in a space weapons race. But not the Soviets. The conservative despots in the Kremlin had another, completely different idea for gaining military superiority. A horrible plan, something no one else would think of.
So the conservatives had a horrible
the
plan?
countries of the communist bloc were facing an economic crisis.
Tell me
Popular
more.
movements pushing for democracy were springing up all over.
I can hardly believe it.
Communism itself was facing extinction. Facing pressure from the reformers, the Kremlin began to panic. And that's when that horrible, childish plan was launched.
And that was the Snatcher project. Replace your enemy's leaders with puppets of your own. Then you control their governments, their economies, take over a country from the inside out.
This is scarily topical.
That's right, Gillian. And to develop these robots, they assembled some of the most brilliant scientific minds from around the world. Some of them were even brought in against their will. At the crux of that development effort was a group called the Frankenstein Project Team. You and I were members of that team, Gillian. It was a 4-person team led by the late Professor Modner here. The robotics expert was Professor Modner himself. His son, Elijah Modner, handled genetics and microbiology. For nanobiology and picobiology, myself. And for behavioral science and psychology, you, Gillian. Early development was carried out at a lab in Novosibirsk, but was later moved to a secret facility under the Kremlin. At the time, the Glasnost and Perestroika movements were gaining momentum, and they rightly feared for the existence of the program if it should become known. But some of the reformers did learn of the project, and they conspired with the US to block it. Gillian, you were a CIA special agent sent by the United States to infiltrate and sabotage the project.
I was CIA?
Yes, and the government knows that. That's why you were assigned to the Junker team.
What? Who am I?
Work on the project continued to go smoothly. But then, on June 6, 1996, there was that accident. A mysterious explosion at the Chernobyl facility spread a bacterial weapon that was under development there into the atmosphere, destroying the country and the project. Gillian, was it you? Did you set off that explosion?
What? You can't be serious. You think I caused the catastrophe?
Somehow, during the confusion, Professor Modner and our son Harry managed to get picked up by American agents. But we couldn't get out in time, you and I and Elijah. In a shelter below the Kremlin, we entered a cryogenic sleep. Our plan was to sleep there until the toxic effects of the bacteria were safely passed.
And then 48 years later, 3 years ago, we were discovered by the 17th Special Investigative Force.
Yes, but when they found us, Elijah's pod was already empty.
Elijah Modner? That guy whose picture was in the church? The one that looks like Random?
That's right, Elijah is alive! Elijah is here and working on the Snatchers.
Why don't you let me finish your little story?
Uh-oh.
Who's there?
It's been a while, hasn't
Hello,
it,
Warbird.
Jamie?
Welcome to the stream, my friend.
Yes. And
Hey,
Gillian.
Warbird.
No new haircut, I just tied it back.
It's me, Jamie.
Elijah? Is that really you?
See?
Random? No. Not quite.
So you remember me, do you? I am Elijah Modnar, the only son of Professor Petrovich Modnar. I'm afraid I've grown somewhat old and feeble since we last met, however.
Elijah,
Oh.
why are you doing this? Your father, Professor Modner, he He passed away a few minutes ago.
What? My father is dead?
Elijah, what happened to you? The Elijah I knew could never do anything like this.
I've changed, Jamie. These 40 years have changed me.
I can't believe it. What happened to you?
What happened to me? Jamie, do I actually have to explain it to you? Jamie, it's you. Your beauty is the cause of all that has come to pass here. 57 years ago, I was obsessed. With my research, yes. And with you, Jamie. At the time, I was still young, having just graduated with my genetic engineering degree. My father's connections got me on the team, and there, I met you.
Confirm insults ruin everything.
My father's assistant.
Accurate.
Your beauty,
That's
your
probably
smile,
the best way to
I was
describe it.
stricken. I
We
saw
all
something
like
in
your
you
new
that I
hairstyle,
never
apparently.
felt with
I appreciate
women
it.
of my own country. You warmed my cold, young heart, Jamie. You opened me up, and I couldn't stop my feelings.
Elijah.
Oh, I was so happy. The political situation was crumbling around us, but every day was a joy. I gained my father's trust, and with you there watching over me, I was able to work as hard as I ever have on the project. However, my happiness did not last for long. Gillian, it was you. You showed up and all was ruined. You arrived and joined our project team. Far from home, Jamie found comfort in a man from the same land. Your relationship grew quickly, and all I could do was stand by and watch.
Wow.
Jamie and Gillian fell in love.
Really?
Were joined, and even had a child.
Harry.
Even then, my feelings for you only grew stronger. Worried about me, my father tried to have me removed from the project, but I persisted. Jamie, I always wanted to be near you.
You did all of this
And then
because your feelings were not
democratic
neutral.
movements that had consumed the rest of the Eastern Bloc spread to our country as well. The Cold War was over. The hardliners who had pushed for its development were stripped of power and the project was cancelled. The reformers, trying to cover up the existence of such a crazed project, ordered that all materials related to it be destroyed and that we stand trial for our actions. Jamie and Gillian were to be returned to their homeland. That's about the time that I learned that you, Gillian, that you were a CIA agent, and that you were trying to pass documents on our research to your military. The country had sold us out. I'm no politician. I couldn't care less about what happened to the country. All I cared about was my research and Jamie. And I was to lose all of that, everything. For someone so young, you cannot understand how great of a shock that was.
Elijah.
That is when I decided, I swore I would see that secret crazed project through to the end. At the time, the bioroids were 80% finished. The main part, their endostructure, was essentially completed. But we still were having trouble with the artificial skin. The area that Jamie and I
Now I
were
understand why
assigned
Kaosu
to.
posted the
We called it artificial
popcorn
skin,
emoji.
but there was of course
Yeah.
no need to duplicate T lymphocytes, Langerhans cells, or endocrine
Should have brought
cells.
snacks.
All we needed
There's some
was
Warriors right there.
keratinized cells and melanocytes to
shoot, you're
provide
right.
the pigment. With the artificial protein development
Thank you.
techniques that we had in those days,
Many things.
full-scale synthetic cell development was very difficult. Research
Stuck to
like
my
this
arm.
took months, years.
Hang on. Oh,
The original
You have to
project
take it
called
off.
for us to simultaneously snatch an entire country.
I guess we can share
In
these.
other words,
There we
a
go.
whole nation or an entire city had to
There
be
we go.
snatched
Here, you
over
can
the
have
course of
some.
one night. For that reason, a powerful biological
Pretty
agent
good, right?
which could quickly and effectively kill the population of the country was being simultaneously
I'll have some too.
developed.
Hmm,
Lucifer Alpha.
pretty good.
That's right. a type RAO11 virus which another team was developing. For someone like myself, who was closely involved in the project, blowing up the lab was quite a simple task.
My God, Elijah, do you know what you're saying? That explosion killed half the world's population.
I moved all the materials and records essential to the Bioroid project into the shelter, and executed my plan on June 6th. After sealing off the lab, I brought the two of you with me to the underground shelter, and we entered a cryogenic sleep. But not before I programmed an atmospheric research satellite to transmit a wake signal when the danger from Lucifer Alpha had passed.
And 10 years later, Lucifer Alpha naturally mutated into a non-toxic form.
But the automatic revival system failed to work.
Oh no, it worked. Just as planned. It revived
This really
me
is a
10
Kojima
years
game. We
later,
got an hour of
a little
cutscene of
sooner
literal
than the two of
exposition,
you, of
yeah.
course.
But even though you sealed the
Pretty
lab
much.
with the explosion and everything, you should have been exposed.
I'm gonna save state here just in case it crashes and we have to watch everything again.
Why weren't
Oh,
you?
God.
Oh, I was. But by that time, the vaccine L Angels had already been developed.
So everything went just as you planned it then.
Yes,
Okay, I'll
up
make
until that
myself
point.
comfortable if you don't mind.
But my real struggle was yet to come. My original plan was to revive Jamie as well, and for the two of us to finish the development of the Bioroids. You, Gillian, you were to stay asleep forever. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Not after looking at Jamie's peaceful face there in the pod. Besides, I could never have convinced her to work with me on the project anyway. I knew the time was not yet right, so I changed the timers of your pods to permanent on.
How? How could you do such a thing?
And so for the next 40 years, I worked alone in that cold and lonely room under the Kremlin, trying to complete the artificial skin for the Snatchers. For days and days, no one would visit me. I never saw the sun or felt the changing of the seasons. Still, I always had Jamie by my side. You were always there for me to talk to. Just you and I for 40 years in that dark cellar.
Oh, you poor, poor man.
Crazy insults ruin
And
everything.
then,
Yep.
3 years ago, my
That is
research
pretty
was
much what
finally
happened.
completed. First, I snatched the Siberian Special Investigative Forces to establish a transport route for the Snatchers. And then, to test the effect of large-scale snatch operations, I chose Neokobe City to be my experimental sample. Neokobe is cut off from the surrounding areas, a sort of miniature country in itself, making it a perfect test site. And since it's a melting pot of various races, it would also allow me to gather extensive data on Snatcher modification and operational techniques. In addition, the element of suspicion or mistrust, which runs deep in Japanese culture, was another reason I chose this site.
But your test revealed a critical flaw in your machine's artificial skin.
Yes, quite unexpected, I'm afraid. All my research for 40 years. I gathered data and worked day and night to find a solution, but nothing seemed to work.
So that's why you decided to bring Professor Modner here, right?
That's correct. I discovered my father in one of the government's hospitals. He was old, but still very sound of mind. Naturally, he would not cooperate with me.
Of course not. He'd never become involved in something like that.
So, unable to receive his assistance, I decided that I had to have yours. But a mistake on my part allowed both you and Gillian to be taken into custody by the authorities first.
Just what are you trying to accomplish, Elijah? You must know you can never get Jamie back.
I'm only interested in discovering what I can of the human animal. In the past, it was because of Jamie. My motive is different now.
It sounds like you're just suffering from the wild arrogance that corrupts so many scientists.
Humans are such
And
weak
love.
creatures. No matter how much they trust one another, the tiniest speck of
A non-mutual
suspicion
love,
can destroy
basically.
it all.
Non-reciprocated.
Look at how the Snatcher problem has caused such wild unrest. No matter how much science advances or how high we set our ideals, we eventually begin to suspect each other, to hate each other, and then to kill each other. The Snatchers are nothing more than a tool for bringing out this reaction. I am simply using the Snatchers to elicit the true nature of the human animal. I think this experiment has shown me the limits of human society. I sincerely doubt it will be able to reach any greater level of prosperity on its own. If human society ever hopes to reach greater heights, what is needed is an absolute leader, a firm ruler who isn't affected by these trivial episodes of mistrust.
You're crazy if you think people would ever obey Snatchers.
Of course they wouldn't. But if they don't know, they cannot object. There has been a time in every age that the people have longed for a god to lead them. As long as they give the people no reason to suspect them, then they can easily become their gods, indeed, a new race of super beings. We are almost there. Once we
trying to
perfect the
justify
artificial skin,
his actions
Snatchers will
are...
transcend man
It's
to
kinda
become
insane.
This planet's true human beings.
But you'll never get your perfect skin now. Professor Modner is dead.
I no longer have any use for my father. I have a sample of the new skin he developed. Once I've analyzed it, I'll be able to make as much as
thank you,
I
Servo.
need. Or if need be,
Servo
we
is
could
here.
simply
You know
culture
what
the
that means.
keratinized cells, epithelial
Hey,
cells,
Servo.
and melanocytes in the quantities that we need.
And thank you.
What are you talking about?
People seem
How
to
could
be
you get a
really
sample of
enjoying this
perfected artificial
look for
skin?
me.
Why don't you take a look at this?
Oh?
We found this in the rubble of
Random.
Queen's Hospital.
Random.
Oh, an acquaintance of yours?
He's a Snatcher?
That term isn't exactly accurate. This bioroid was constructed by my father without my knowledge. He modeled it after me in my youth. He built it right here in this facility. And not only that, he programmed it to destroy Snatchers. This bioroid caused me serious difficulties. It's designed and built far better than my Snatchers. The machine itself thought it was human. My father input memories for it all the way back to childhood. Those too were apparently mine. Haven't you yet realized? Random Hajil is Elijah Modner spelled backwards. How like my father, silly old man. He did virtually overnight what I could not do in 40 years of effort. Furthermore, he makes a bioroid so perfect, even the bioroid itself believes itself to be real. What's more, the cells of the skin he developed are self-replicating. Once in place, no further transplants or culturing is necessary.
Huh.
Is he dead?
Its main and locomotive systems are completely shut down. It's just scrap now. But the artificial skin is being kept alive. This we need. With this, we can move to phase 2 of our plan of full-scale infiltration of the world's major nations.
The summit's already over. You'll never succeed.
What does the summit matter? Nothing holds us back now that we have this perfect skin. We can go anywhere we want, and there will be no way to tell us apart. I will have free control over the world. Nothing will be able to stop me. Politics and free thought will no longer have any meaning. My will alone will decide the course of human history.
You egomaniac. Do you think you can snatch the entire population?
There's a fully automated Snatcher factory under the Kremlin. Even as we speak, scores of new Snatchers are being born.
King Claudius, welcome to the
But no
stream.
matter how hard you try, you won't be able to snatch the people's heart and soul. What do you hope to gain from this anyway?
No worries.
Jamie, the human race is
Hope you're
composed
doing well, my
of
friend.
fools. But I...
You're right, just
I'm
in time for the
different.
finale.
I will be its
Anytime soon.
Indeed, not just of mankind,
Anytime
but of all
soon.
life on the planet.
I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Metal?
Metal!
Oh,
In
metal!
minutes, this church will be struck by a phased particle beam. I am guiding the beam from the attack satellite using GPS and 15 navigational satellites. The beam cannot miss. Everything in a 2 to 3 kilometer radius from me will be destroyed.
Stop this foolishness now. I will not have my research destroyed by some souped-up pocket calculator.
Metal, what happened at the summit?
The delegates, worried about the Snatcher menace, voted unanimously to allow the use of nuclear weapons on the city. The military is presently imposing a quarantine on Neo Kobe.
What? Do they intend to kill everybody?
The populace is in a state of panic. However, they have agreed to lift the quarantine if this church is struck by the phased particle beam. This is our last chance. I will handle things here. Gillian, Jamie, you two must flee.
I really hope we don't lose Metal.
You'll never...
One move and I detonate. Gillian, run!
Metal, this is crazy!
We can't let a single Snatcher get out of here. And this new artificial skin has to be destroyed as well.
I will not allow some talking scrap pile to get away with this. If you were the aiming point for the beam, then I'll just have you thrown out of here. Grab this little one and take him out of here.
Oh.
Metal!
Cowardly little robot.
You always were a real pain in the butt.
Random?
What's
Oh my
that?
god, random?
He's alive!
What?
Oh, perfect.
You're supposed to be deactivated.
I don't go down that easy, old man.
Stop
Saving us again, Random. Good job.
Shut up! Let's try to make our final moments peaceful, shall we? And you Snatchers, you touch the little guy and the old man's head comes off. Random! I've always hated being used. Why don't you watch the final act with me?
Gillian, you only have 5 minutes. The turbo cycle is just outside on standby. Use that to flee.
Let me go. I'm Elijah Modner. I'm your original.
I don't care if I'm an original or a copy or what. You and I are gonna die right here. If we both die, there won't be a copy anymore now, will there?
The stupid logic of a simpleton, of a machine.
Whatever it is, it's my will!
This machine proved to be much more human than him.
Machines cannot sacrifice themselves.
We'll see about that.
You have 4 minutes. You must go. And don't forget to take care of the factory under the Kremlin.
Stop!
Gillian, even if these memories in my head are fiction...
Yeah, I know what you mean. Our memories of our time together are all too real, Random.
Gillian, you become one hell of a junker.
Gillian, it has been most recreational being your partner.
Oh, Metal!
Oh.
If you can, try to pick up the pieces for me, okay? Like we did for Little John.
Little John? Oh! Okay, Metal.
Hurry! You only have 3 minutes.
Thanks! Thanks, you two! Jamie, come on!
Goodbye, Metal.
No! Don't let her go! No!
You pathetic old fool! You don't even know how to love someone!
You stupid machine! What is that idiotic grin supposed to mean?
By snatching you, I'm finally gonna get my real self back!
Random, there's less than 1 minute to go. Thanks to you, everything will be fine.
You don't owe me any thanks. Sorry to get you involved in such a big job. You did great. You're a hell of a junker.
3,
Remember, kid?
Huh. Good that Japan had an orbital laser on standby, indeed.
It just happened to be floating nearby.
Mm-hmm.
17 Special Engineering Squad, report for boarding immediately.
So you're really going, aren't you?
It's our responsibility, too. Besides, if I go to Moscow, I may get some of my memory back. And if that happens, I'll be able to love you even more than I do now. Wait for me. I want to be with you, but first I've got to destroy this terrible factory of theirs. Jamie, when I get back, let's try living together again. What do you say?
13 Special Operations Squad and all Junker personnel, report immediately for departure.
We'll be waiting for you, too.
Katrina! Mika! You're here too?
You better be happy, Buster, with all these beautiful women seeing you off.
Oh my god.
Oh
I'm
my
happy you
god.
came.
Come on.
Let me
Oh,
introduce
no.
my wife.
Jamie Seed. I suppose it's a little odd introducing myself a second time, though.
What do you mean? You've never met them before, have you?
What are you talking about, Gillian? We're good friends.
Huh? Since when?
It's the first time I've met her in person, but I've spoken with her on the video phone a lot of times.
What? Have you guys been talking about me behind my back?
Wow. Oh. Okay.
Oh my god.
I was not expecting that, but wow.
Lordy lord.
Gameplay, at last. Look at Jamie. I'm really sorry for all the worry it cost you.
Trying to learn more about you was what got our relationship started. Before I knew it, we really became close, didn't we? Our relationship has gone beyond just being friends.
Just me?
What?
What does...
He is standing next to his wife. What are you saying, Mika?
This doesn't make any sense.
Kojima, explain.
Beyond just friends, that sounds pretty good to me. What are you talking
Kojima,
about?
Kojima, please.
This is the end, come on.
Please, Kojima, I'm begging you.
Wow.
I was telling Mika about how lonely it was being home alone all the time. And she told me about Jamie was always worried about me, so I gave her a video phone call. With even Alice gone, at the hospital where she's recovering. She's totally fine, by the way.
Yep.
I was really lonely.
Katrina.
They're both easy to talk to. It's like I've got two real sisters now.
Now the idea of a quote-unquote harem seems even worse with that comment.
Oh god. They're just like family to me now.
Even worse now. Oh, we can talk to Jamie now.
I don't care if you get your memory back or not.
Why?
Because getting your memory back will mean that you'll remember those things about me that you hated.
Oh. Sure. Fun fact, in the Japanese version, Katrina's 14, not 17 and then 18. Ooh. Oh, that's That's not great.
Kojima.
So
Kojima,
in
I'm coming to your house and I'm knocking on your door and hanging this up in your face, and I am asking you, why?
So in the Japanese version, you watch a 14-year-old get showering. Why? Things that I hated. What are you talking about? Dealing with the with each other's imperfections is part of what being married is all about, Jamie.
Gillian.
Don't worry. No memories will change how I feel about you.
Thank you, Gillian. It's good to hear you say that.
So have they finalized what they're going to do about Junker operations? I suppose this will end up being our last mission, huh?
Well, originally they were planning on disbanding the team, but now they've decided to keep us in business.
So that means...
That's right. We've been designated as one of the government's special police divisions. That puts us above the regular cops.
So the government has decided that crime by machines poses a bigger threat than crime by humans from here on out, huh?
They've chosen the new chief, too. So when you get back, you'll get to meet the new head honcho.
Well, it's comforting to know I've got a place I can come back to.
Your Tamagotchi's happy too, I hear.
A little bit.
You're a good Tamamom. Tamam.
I do my best.
You are the best.
I know you are.
I know you are.
Not you. Okay. Have a safe trip, Major Seed. Major Seed?
Major Seed.
Major Seed.
What, Mia Major? That has a nice ring to it.
Whatever you do, just come home safe, okay?
When you get back from this job, you still have a dinner date to keep with me, you know.
Don't worry. I won't forget my promises to either of you. Oops, almost forgot. Of course, I'll want to spend some private moments with my wife, too, huh? What's wrong, Jamie?
Harry and I will be waiting for you to get home.
Oh.
That's Harry's hat.
We can do it this time, Gillian. Not some fake couple like before, but with love and trust.
I know, Jamie.
Take care, Gillian.
I'll see you, Jamie.
Wait for me.
Wait, huh?
Take me with you, please.
Metal! He became a Sega Saturn!
Metal?
Yes, sir.
No, it's a Sega CD.
To work with,
Oh my
this is
god.
just a temporary body. Just call me Metal Gear, Sega CD for now.
So they found your memory chip in one piece, eh?
Random protected it from the blast of the beam.
Random, huh? Wait a second. I've heard that sneeze somewhere before.
Really? I didn't hear anything. Anyway, I want to know if you'll take me with you. Please, Gillian, please take me with you.
Hurry up and get on board, partner.
Yes, sir, Gillian.
Oh, really, Chaosy? That is interesting.
That is a nice detail, actually. Metal lives indeed. What a beautiful shot to end on. I do love sunsets.
Throughout history, suspicion has always bred conflict. The real conflict, though, resides in people's hearts. This conflict has just begun.
Insector noises. Nothing that my gun can solve, as you saw.
Whew.
And with that,
Well,
Yellow's ideal and having 3 cute women wanting to be her girlfriend. Yeah, I have been called out. And I will not be fighting back. Not this time.
And thankfully, we did not need Mango this time.
True, there was no need for the mango sensor this time around. But Mango, thank you for your service, young friend. Oh. That's nice. Thank you, Mango.
And now, she ascends.
Goodbye, Mango. Goodbye.
And this Oreo pack is empty.
Oh.
I'll have to get some more.
It's all about finales. But, girly, as the credits roll, tell me, as a whole, what is the Wolf review?
Well, I think I'm going to score this 8 out of 10.
Art-wise is fantastic, from the visuals to the music to the voices.
Yes. Yeah, like, the visuals are a really good standout. It's really... How do I even describe the visuals? Just like this perfect encapsulation of pixel art at the time, like the best that it could possibly do, I think. And some good quality voice acting too. It's like, especially for the time.
Yeah. A lot of voice scenes.
And like cinematic moments too, with the framing of certain shots. And let's see, the gameplay is, I guess that's a whole other story though.
Definitely the gameplay is where its faults start to show. It's definitely a game of its time, and yeah,
like the biggest problem with the gameplay, like sometimes this stuff just doesn't seem to be very clear. Like at the beginning it was okay. Like I remember it was just easy to just kind of like poke around and think about stuff, but then and then part 2 came along, and then like we hit that extended scene at the manor. Right, we could not figure out what we were supposed to be doing.
And when we did, we didn't never figure out what we did differently.
Right, yeah, I had to look it up, and it's like, and it says that you just keep investigating around until he sneezes randomly. So that's not good.
I don't like having to interact multiple times with things.
Yeah, exactly. And then the whole third act of the game was just almost entirely one cutscene.
It's an almost an hour cutscene. I will say it has weird difficulty spikes.
Yeah, like that is also something I looked up. Apparently, how well you do in the practice shooting range determines how difficult the in-game shooting moments are. And you can perform so well in the shooting range that it makes the game impossible to finish.
Yeah.
So that is a weird mechanic. I don't like that.
Yeah. There was a little bit of gameplay. There were 2 shooting sections.
And there was a fake out.
They expected to shoot the... They play the fighting music, expecting you to like shoot Jamie. But it's a fake out, yes.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
That was weird.
It was. Especially because most of the things in the finale were not hinted at almost at all.
Yeah, it just feels like a lot of that ending came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, story-wise, it was a lot of cutscene for stuff that was not even hinted at before.
And the thing is, like, even with all those complaints, and even with like the stupid creepy shit that didn't need to be there, like even so, it was an enjoyable experience.
Yeah. It has its problems, but it's still a really nice experience as a whole.
Yeah, and it has like these little charming bits that make it memorable.
Very funny moments. The interactions, I would say the highlight to me was the interactions between Metal and Gillian. That definitely to me was the most entertaining.
Gillian, I must apologize for calling you a virgin earlier. I was unaware that you had a child.
Funny enough, even Gillian wasn't aware of that one.
You know what? True.
Even the son was unaware.
Yeah, also true. And to be fair, he was doing some real turbo virgin behavior.
This is true. I don't... You could remove everything that's creepy about this game, like the shower scene, being able to creep on every single female character, and the unnecessary gore, and this game would be much better. It is a no. It is a no. It is kind of a noir cyberpunk story, so it makes sense that it would be a little bit bloody. But I draw the line at animals.
Yeah, that actually I looked that up too. Apparently, they were going to censor that part and then didn't.
Yeah.
Like there was a development shot that showed the dog laying on the ground, but without the gore.
Yeah. Yellow, those are all Kojima calling cards, though. Well, I guess in that case, I'm not a fan of Kojima's style, then, if that's the case.
Agreed.
But despite that, I will say that this game was still fun. But yeah, that's gonna be it for now. Almost made it to the 2-hour mark. I was afraid that this episode was gonna be just an hour long, but I was, I guess, saved by almost half an hour cutscenes.
Kojima-isms.
Kojima-isms. Kojima is great, except when he's not. I don't know. I just I guess I haven't experienced much of Kojima, and everything that I've seen is I haven't been really a fan of, I guess. But I will say that experiencing this with you, Nanaki, has been a treat.
It's been a joy playing with you.
Of course. And regardless of where you go and what do you play, or with whoever you play, if it's with me or with Cyan, which I know you were planning on streaming with Cyan at some point, Colette will be more than happy to have you stream something with her.
Oh.
She did mention that it seemed extremely familiar for whatever reason.
Familiar, huh?
A familiar feeling, I'll say. Or at least that's how she described it.
I wonder why.
Perhaps this is not the first time you've done this. Perhaps in a different era.
Perhaps 65 million years ago?
I will have to investigate this further. Interesting. Perhaps some sort of prehistoric ancestor of some kind.
Let's see. I'm thinking of a blue stegosaurus. Have you heard of such a thing?
I think I've heard of a blue stegosaurus. Plays guitar, right? No. Bass guitar.
A dinosaur playing guitar.
Interesting.
What a novel idea.
Yeah.
You can make a video game out of that.
Pretty much every Metal Gear game has weird, out of place, unnecessary sexualization of some female character. Like Kojima going fucking insane off the rails story-wise is great, but the weird sexualization is terrible, especially when people try to defend the sexualization. Yeah.
Oh yeah, with Quiet, right? I remember that controversy.
That's the character that quote unquote breathes through her skin. Or something like that.
You will be ashamed of your words and deeds. That was such a weird time.
Yeah. You know, as much as I'm not the biggest fan of the Nier franchise, I will say that at least Yoko Taro admitted that he makes attractive, slightly sexualized women in his video games because, and I quote, he just really likes women.
Yeah, it's better when someone's just up front. Like, if you just want to make sexy girls, then go at it.
Yeah.
Just be honest about it. You don't have to make this pseudo intellectual web of lore to justify it.
Yeah, just say that you like sexy ladies. I can actually relate to that. It's just
the final boss of lesbians right here next to me.
Am I? Not right now. How about this? Or this? Or this? Oh, and of course, there you go.
Exactly. You see what I mean? There's everyone in the chat is now swooning over you.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, ladies only. Well, unfortunately for you, if you're not a pretty lady. But anyway, thank you so much for coming through this journey with me, Nanaki. It's been a pleasure.
It has been a joy being with you.
Absolutely. To solve another case that, once again, finished in a church.
There's got to be some connection.
If it happens a third time, I'm gonna call shenanigans. From this point forward, we should just go straight to the church.
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. I hope to see you in the next one. Schedule-wise, tomorrow Cyan has a little bit of a surprise because she's taking a break from Stray Gods this week because her co-hosts are on vacation. So she's gonna be streaming something else, perhaps a one-shot, perhaps something Hello Kitty related. You never know. But be excited for that.
Exciting.
Yeah, more surprises to come. I'm gonna start the new series soon now that Snatchers is over, and yeah. I hope to see you all in the next one. Nanaki, where can people find you?
I am primarily on Blue Sky right now. I can be found in most places with my same name, but I got a link tree here. I will drop it in the chat.
Good. Good. So go follow Nanaki on all her socials, for she is marvelous.
Takes a marvel to know one.
That's why you should look at the mirror.
The one I'm holding up to you?
Always the mirror strategy, huh?
You're the one suggesting it.
Using my own tricks against me, huh? That is quite marvelous. But anyway, that's gonna be it for now, everybody. Thank you for watching. You've all been fantastic, and I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. The usual, Ko-fi and Patreon for support and behind-the-scenes content, and Discord server for notifications from whenever streams are happening and just interacting and hanging out with us. I have been Yvette, also known as Sumi Yellow, and take care, my friends. Nanaki, anything you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
Thank you all for joining us on this funny little weird game, but fun. With some good music. All of you have been a joy to hang out with, and I hope to see you all again in another stream, whether it be Yvette's or someone else's. Or mine, even. What if I stream one day?
That would be interesting. I would love to co-host with you if you would like that.
Maybe one day.
One day. We'll see. But for now, see ya, Space Cowboy. Bang.
Bang.
I was cooling in the motel for a minute. Loved ones that I won't tell how I'm living. Now I'm in the woods, trailer park, staying hidden. In the rap game, slashing through a million minions. IRL is lame cause I'm broke in Virginia. Surrounded by the slimy cold-blooded, they amphibians. I ain't dark as I was, hit the amphibians. Holding me katana out in the slaughterhouse. I was hired cause you talking loud, starting drumming out. I got fired cause I understood what they talking about. So I fight them cause I understand all they charming out. In the woods, smoking on some woods, game me feeling good, but it's great. Can escape my fate, would it if I could? On some LBs, for these LBs I had to hustle. Desperately trying to find paradise through this desperate struggle. One kill, and be killed, it's the way that I'm living. Throw my life away, but I had to hide my feelings. Trying to stack LBs straight to the ceiling.